introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intention is teaching that talk is to broaden their vision. The things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. Reach for the top, regardless of situations, predicaments, or your conditions. He's making history, all of the districts, increasing retention from teachers. 50 to 80% that ain't all that you hear me. He is the mentor. He paved the way with his dip methodology. Really, dream, be persistent, face fears, seek change, go out and go get it. This what you learning with Dr. Joe Griffin. With Dr. Joe Griffin, yeah. He says recognize trauma, push past the pain. If you got a problem, go look at his frame. Work your perspective and look at it change. Find a goal, set it in critical thing. Manage time, self-awareness. These are the few of the things he's trying to get you to do every day. Do every day. Led 5 schools to increase test scores with his teacher principal collaboration. Things he gives to you will have you take you drive to the next level. But first, you need to get some fuel at gas station. Supporting education leaders, creating a culture for kids that'll last for ages. Lack of access to quality professional development, that's outrageous. Got his doctorate in education, leadership, research, make changes. Need to put the kids first and raise them. Need to teach them they worth, stop playing. Later on, they gon' run this nation. Dr. Joe with his dissertation taught to those who would fix, make changes. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intentions. The teaching that talk is to broaden their vision. The things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. Reach for the top, regardless of situations, predicaments, or your conditions. He's making history, all of the districts, increasing retention from teachers. 50 to 80% they ain't all that you hear me. He is the mentor. He paved the way with his dip methodology. Really, dream, be persistent, face fears, seek change, go out and go get it. This what you learning with Dr. Joe Griffin. With Dr. Joe Griffin.
Great day, leaders. Welcome to the Speaking Life in You Leadership live stream. I am your host, Dr. Joe Griffin, where we talk leadership dynamics, personal and professional growth, educational trends, and we provide solutions to help you with school improvement. Let's go! It's indeed a great day, you all. Moved the time up a little bit today, so those that are here with us, joining us, I hope everything is loud and clear with the mic. Just got everything hooked up with that as well. So you all definitely want to appreciate you for joining today. It does begin Black History Month. Yesterday began Black History Month. So it is indeed a pleasure to be able to be here, to sit before you, to stand before you, to speak with you, to have you in the room, to have you on the Zoom, in the stream, y'all. You all give yourselves a hand because of everybody not making it, you all. But we made it here today. So thank you and God bless to you, you all. Definitely want to start out with a moment of silence. You all, we've got a lot going on right now in the world. As you know, the fires have been going on. We've had planes, basically. Oh, man, it's bad, you all. But we're still here. We still have to endure. We still have to be who we are. We still have to continue pushing, continue striving, being resilient, which is actually the crux of our topic today. And as always, we like to talk in terms of being resilient as educators, but also resilient in real life. So as we get started, let's give a moment of silence for those that have been affected by the plane crash, those that have been affected by the other plane crash, as well as the fires and all other national tragedies, all other bad things or terrible things that you're experiencing, whether it be personal or professional, you all. We've got to be compassionate We got to empathize with one another because we need each other. We need each other. This is a collaborative world, and we work with, through, and we build off others. So let's have a quick, brief moment of silence, basically, and symbolism of the suffering that America is dealing with right now. Yes, 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 you are. And hopefully everyone is able to participate in that, whether you are live or whether you come back and watch the recording. It's important that we give thanks for our situation, but we also always empathetic and prayerful for others. That's the spirit of empowerment. That's the spirit of empowerment. So, Black History Month, HBCU, I do want to, let's see, I think I still have it in my, no, actually, I went out of it. I still have my video that I want to show. I'm gonna pull it up at the end, you all. I want to show a video that, matter of fact, just bear with me a second. I'm gonna put it up right now. After I went out of the studio right before the show, it clicks out those things that you have put in, but I'm gonna put it in, and here it is. Let's see, can we get it up? Let's see, y'all. Give me a second. As you see, I've got on my maroon. Okay, got on my maroon in honor of HBCU, Coahoma Community College, where I got my start, AA degree, honors in English degree from HBCU, Coahoma Community College, where I first became a Tiger. So definitely want to shout out Coahoma Community College, as well as all of the HBCUs, and just again, Black History Month. You all, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. Otherwise, I want to see what we got going on in the comments. See who we got chiming in with us, you all. Appreciate you, Dr. Houston. Appreciate you, Dr. Houston and Dr. McKeeva. Jenner, thank you so much. Yeah, Doc, it is bad. It is bad. It is real bad. So you all, we're going to go ahead and hop into our topic. I couldn't put a video up. I guarantee y'all have it in there next week, though, so that we can show it's a video tribute to Richard Wright, who is my favorite author. He's the author of Black Boy, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and some other books as well. But it was his readings as a young man, and I said about 7th, 8th grade as a middle schooler, that showed me that I need to get all the education I possibly could so that I can make my situation better for myself and for those that are around me, that continue to be around me. So Richard Wright, he was a true pioneer. He actually stood up for his beliefs so much that he exiled out of the country to Paris toward the end of his life. So definitely want to highlight Richard Wright's life. He's a Virgo also, born in September. So Richard Wright, he was a powerful, powerful author and man of ours out of history. So let's go ahead and get started, you all. First off, I want you to know that leadership is resilience. We talk about leadership being influence, and it is, but it's also resilience. And you say, Dr. Joe, what do you mean that leadership is resilience? And how is that possible? First of all, resilience is being able to bounce back, being able to come time and time again, regardless of the adversity, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of whether it looks like defeat is near. And for educators, sometimes the situation looks bleak. It looks dim in your eyesight. But that's where we have to be able to be resilient, find the positive things that are going on in our schools and build off of them. It's a choice whether or not we bounce back, whether or not we keep coming, whether or not we bow down to fear, whether we bow down to opponents, that is a choice. But being resilient means that won't occur. Whether it's a person, whether it's failure, whether it's an event, whether it's an experience, whatever it is, leadership is resilience. And it gives you the opportunity to keep coming back. And that's why I start with you saying, there's no reason to not give your best. I'm going to say that again. Because there's so much love in my heart as I speak these words, you all just don't know. There's no reason to not give your best. There's no reason to not be grateful. There's no reason to not have gratitude, because things can be snapped away, taken away at any moment. So why not give your very best every single day? Whether you're pushing information to students, whether you're the superintendent and trying to get leaders to improve, or whether you're the principal attempting to get teachers to maneuver and operate at the school like you need them to, or whether you're just in life and things haven't been working out the way you wanted them to work out, but you still have that vision. You still have an opportunity. You still have a chance to keep going, to keep coming back. And I was having a conversation with a youngster earlier on this particular point, and it's not about money. It's not about the reward at the end. It's not about the test scores at the end. It's about what you do daily, how you build up to it. I'm gonna dig into that a little bit deeper today, because we're gonna get into it today, you all. We're getting into the framework some. Let's look at, we got a couple other people coming in. Definitely appreciate you all coming on in. There's no reason to not give your best. I've got a framework that I've talked about prior, where I asked you to reflect, review, reframe, and revitalize. And I'm not going to go through the whole framework today, because that's another topic or talk in itself. But you want to reflect on where you are, what has taken place. Then you want to review what has occurred. You want to review it, I mean, you're breaking it down, looking at what were the sequences. How did it happen? When did it happen? Who did what? Then you want to reframe it, meaning that you're going to look at it in a way that we can get better from it, that we can use it to grow us. Then it's time for revitalize, recharge, re-energize, whichever one of those words, rejuvenate, whichever one of those words resonate with you. But that's the 4-hour framework for moving forward. So with that in mind, we're talking about resilience. First thing you want to know about resilience: choose to perform daily versus chasing the results. I'm going to repeat that again, you all, because I know that it probably didn't hit. It might didn't hit the first time I said it. But choose to perform daily versus chasing results. What you mean, Dr. Joe? What do you mean by choosing to perform daily? What does that look like for me as an educator versus chasing the results? Well, what I mean by that is the test scores are only going to come if you've already put in the work every single day to build up to that point. I'm going to say it again. It's not just going to happen. You got to continue to work, continue to build, continue to grow on the systems that you've already put in place. You got to continue to work. What are you doing every single day? At the end of the day, you ought to be able to reflect. You ought to be able to look back and say, what did I do today that's going toward us improving our school? What did I do today individually to improve myself to get better? Choose to perform versus chasing the results. Many times that's what's magnified, the end result. In life, it's the money at the end, or the fame at the end, or at the job, you're looking at school over here, school A, school B, that's doing very well. Seems like they might not even be working hard as you, but that's because you're looking at the result. If we take ourselves out of the result, there are many times that people that won did worse than the people that lost. I'm going to say that again. There have been many times that people have won, but they actually perform worse than who lost. There have been many schools that did not perform well on the test, but they performed better than the schools that did do well on the test throughout the year. So that's why we can't get caught up all the time in the results. The results are going to be the byproduct of the work that we continue to put in, continue to perform every single day. What are those processes looking like? Huh? Who, what, when, where? And I'm going to come back. I'm going to give you some bona fide strategies. As always, I give you solutions. We give you solutions that you can actually use in your schools that you can take back to your professional development tomorrow, because I want to see you empowered. I know that there are people who are getting benefit from our lives, you all. I know that that's why we keep going live, because it's taking on the point where it's not about me. It's about making sure that you get what you need. It's about adding value to what you're already doing in your schools. So choose to perform every single day versus just magnifying and chasing after the results. You got to be skill builders. You got to be skill builders. Now, what do you say by that? So what I mean, we're not just going to do test prep every single day without ensuring that we're doing the processes to ensure that you can master the objective as well, right? Because you got to be able to apply that knowledge. So as a teacher, as a leader, as a superintendent, it's our duties to ensure that we're focusing on the process toward mastery. That's how we get to mastery. You don't just jump to mastery. You don't just jump to being the best at anything. You got to put the work in. There's been statements that you've got to put at least 10,000 hours of work into something before you become an expert. I believe it. I believe it, because that's going to build your confidence, your belief, and the freedom to be able to do a good job no matter who's looking. I'm going to say that again, to be able to do a good job no matter who's looking, no matter what's the result, because now nothing matters but what you're doing every single day and how you're putting people in place where they can be successful. That's leadership. Leadership is resilience, because everyone is not going to go for it. So you got to be resilient to be able to bounce back, keep going, keep trying to collaborate, even with those that might be fighting the vision. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm talking to somebody today, because it's not me talking, y'all. I've been led to this today. So I know that somebody is going to get it. Somebody's going to find value. You're going to do something in your school this week to show your resilience as a leader, to show your resilience as an educator. You deserve it. Why not give your very, very best? There's no reason to not give your best. Ooh, wait. Why would you not give your best, y'all? Choose to perform every single day versus chasing the results, y'all. That's the first thing that you got to know. All right. If you feel what I'm saying, put something in the chat, jump in your seat, say something loud, whatever it is that you understanding. We want to hear it. Watching live from Rhode Island, your words are inspired. Thank you, Lady Crystal Reddy. We definitely appreciate those words. You all choose to perform every single day, you all. Now, I want to keep going, you all, because I feel good. Like I said, as always, you're going to get some strategies. All right, you're going to get some strategies. Not only the mindset, but also the strategies. Let me charge this computer up. Let me plug up real quick. I don't want to die today. Yeah, I'm in there. Now, second thing you want to do as a leader, because remember, most of us have about 3 months left 60 days prior to end of year testing, anywhere from 50 to 60 days, depending on your school schedule, your academic calendar. But also now you want to revisit the commitment to impact accountability. Remember, there's no commitment without accountability. There's no accountability without commitment. You can't hold anybody accountable that has not already committed to meeting you where you need to be met with the expectation, and vice versa. You can't expect to hold me accountable if we have not already made a commitment, and vice versa. If accountability measures are not in place, you can't expect that commitment to take place. So how do you establish as a leader resilience in establishing a commitment to impact accountability? And we're not talking about just the accountability model. Yeah, we're talking about the scores, of course, but accountability as far as the team, as far as the people on the team and the work that has to be done every single day. You got February, March, April. Most of you testing in May. And it's the processes that lead up to the results for testing. You're not just going to jump to the test and be successful. That's not how it works. So, with that being said, you've got to ensure that you revisit the commitment. How do you revisit the commitment? First off, you got to have conversations. You got to have those tough conversations. You got to reconcile differences. You've got to go correct situations that, for whatever reason, went awry. Relationships are fragile. So it's important that you do whatever you need to do to ensure that relationships remain in a committed track so that you can hold people accountable. I'm going to say it again. So that you can hold people accountable. Reconcile those differences, because we need to be on the same page. So if we've had some problems, which is natural on teams, we're going to have problems. We're going to have issues. We're going to have situations. That's natural. But how are we going to move past them? Because if we don't deal with them, if we allow it to just fester, if we don't correct it, if we don't deal with the issue, remember, discipline culture is the collaborative way in which teachers and administrators handle issues daily and how it impacts the instructional practices. So if we don't revisit the commitment, if we don't reconcile our differences, how are we expecting collaboration to take place at high levels? Collaboration can't be done individually. Y'all better write that down. Collaboration cannot be done individually. You can't collaborate with yourself. That's just working alone. We already know that you can do more. We can do more with and through other people. So as a leader, we've got to ensure that collaboration takes place at high levels. We've got to ensure that collaboration is a byproduct. Collaboration is a part of the process that creates the byproduct of the results that happen. You got to revisit the commitment. That's important, you all. What are some ways that you can show resilience to revisit your commitment right now in your schools? Because it's somebody that's listening right now that know you have issues with your faculty. You know you have issues in your classroom. As a superintendent who's listening to this right now, you know you have problems with your principals, but you expect them to get good test scores. But they're not, but you all aren't working together. You haven't reconciled those differences. Yeah, I've been in those situations, so I know. I've been in those situations, so I know what it's like to be in a situation where you don't know if what's going to happen with your leadership. So it's important that as the leader, when we're self-aware, when we are working towards self-mastery, we always keep others empowered. And how do you do that as a leader? You reconcile those differences. You allow them, you let them know that that was only an event, that was only one experience, that is not the totality of our being. That's not why we're here even. Yeah, sure, we had a brush up. We got into it verbally. We did not agree. But guess what? That's okay. I want to be around people that are going to push me to next levels. And the only way you get pushed to next levels is that sometimes you hear something different from the thought of your own. You can't grow yourself. You can't grow just off your own thoughts. You got to continue to push to that level as an educator, as a person. Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to tell you this if I didn't know this. So again, revisit the commitment to impact accountability. If you're with me, if you're hearing what I'm saying, definitely let me know. I feel good, y'all. I feel good because I need this information to get out. And you may already know it. It may be what you need to hear, though, to make the change. We hear things over and over and over again, and then don't do anything about it. But once we realize that we are in charge, there's no reason not to give your best. There's no reason not to give your best every single day. There's no reason, y'all. Third, if you're going to be a resilient leader, bounce back time and time again. Come back stronger, smarter, harder, more vigilant, more empowering, more committed, more accountable than ever before. You got to constantly be in review, reflect, reframe, revitalize mode. So that means I'm always tweaking, I'm always modifying, I'm always enhancing my instructional, culture, and organizational practices. If I've looked at my data, we've done half a year, right? You've done a little bit more than half a year, so you got about a third of the year left coming down the stretch. I'm trying to get to 80% proficiency, and I'm at 70. I'm not going to get to 80 if I don't make any enhancements. I've got to do something different, because if that was the case, I would already be there. So I'm at 70, trying to get to 80. I make a tweak. Oh, I can make this group a little bit smaller. I can give them a little bit more time on the operational standards. If you're doing math, measurement, operations. Or I can do something different with this group. All of these are tweaks. They're going to build up the results. I ask you again, what are you doing daily? Not what did you do on the front end. You planned it out, but what do you do to maintain it? Plans don't just work themselves. You got to keep tweaking, keep modifying, keep enhancing, keep your eye on the data. Keep your eye, and I'm not just talking about numerical data, also qualitative data. You got to talk with teachers, talk with students, talk with leaders to also get their perspective. We talk about buy-in leading to ownership. If you don't get my perspective, I'm not buying in. I'm gonna let that sink, because y'all didn't hear that. If you don't get my perspective, if you don't care about my thoughts, and these are your people in your organization, they're not buying in. What vision is worth following when it's only one? So you got to get people to buy in. You got to make sure that you are tweaking, modifying, making those adjustments. A coach just doesn't send his team out. He got to go out there and get in the game. A coach just don't sit on the sideline and not say a word the whole game. He's also, even though he's not on there running, he's not on the court, he's not on the field running, he's still a participant. He's an active participant. As the leader, you are an active participant. So to make those adjustments, tweak, modify, or enhance your instructional practices? What about your cultural ideas? If the attendance hadn't gone up yet, and you still doing the same plan that you started out in August with, you didn't change it in December, you didn't change it in January, what make you think that you're about to hit your goal? Or have you just settled with whatever happens? See, that's what happens so much when we're satisfied or when we're thinking about results all the time. When we're not living in the present, we spend so much time in the past and then so much time in the future. But the present, as a leader, you got to ensure that every single day you're looking at those practices that you have going on in your schools. You're working to enhance them, that you're building them up culturally, instructionally, as well as organizationally. You got to make sure performance continues to increase. And that's whether you're a superintendent. Yeah, I talk to my superintendents. Whether you're a building principal. Yeah, I'm talking to my building level principals. You got to ensure that teachers are well and they can perform in the space or the place that you have set for them. This is crucial. And I'm talking to teachers because you've got to ensure that students are socially, emotionally safe so they can learn at higher levels. You got to continue to tweak those practices. If you got some bubble students coming down the pike and you hadn't moved them yet, are you just going to be satisfied with they can't get it or that you can't teach it? Or are you going to make adjustments to help you teach it better as well as them to learn it better? It's a two-way street, you all. It's a two-way street. And it's important that you continue to work towards it. So those are three things. Now I'm going to give you some strategies to kind of go with them. You know, we said choose to perform daily versus chasing those results. Now, when you're thinking about that, coming down the stretch, what type of enrichment and what type of remediation are you providing right now during the day? Or are you simply going along with the projected schedule? Now, you may be fine doing that. You may be in a school where all of the students are proficient. You may be in a school where the kids are struggling. Either way, if it's not amped up right now during this time, you're going to be where you are. You're going to continue to grow at the same pace that you've grown from August to February. However, if you choose to do more, if you choose to gather more buy-in, if you choose to collaborate a little bit smarter with the team, guess what? You can still supercharge the instruction down the home stretch. You don't have to settle for being where you are. No, I don't like for educators to settle because kids learn. Teachers perform when you put them in situations to be successful. So ensure that you upgrade your enrichment as well as remediation programs coming down these final 60 days. We talked about revisiting the commitment to impact accountability. Now, revisiting that commitment, what does that look like? What are you going to do? First, I remember I asked you to fix any broken relationships. Formally, if there was an incident that happened in front of the staff, it needs to be settled in front of the staff. It needs to be reconciled in front of the staff. You need to be able to partnership agreements. We've talked about those on prior shows. I had a guest talk about it. That was another show that I spoke about them as well. Partnership agreements. These are crucial. That helps to impact the accountability. It helps to impact our commitment. And it's not too late. It's not something you have to wait until August to implement. That's where we fail at. That's where we hold ourselves back at. Delays have serious consequences, and that's Shakespeare. Don't delay. Do it now. You do it now, come back next year, it's already in place. I might not be here. I may be it's not for you. You're doing it for the wrong reasons, if that's the case. I beg to you, do what you need to do in these schools, you all. And the last thing, again, to continue to make those adjustments. We talked about making adjustments. If my scores are not on track at the current rate, at the current schedule, I need to find a way to dig for more instructional time. I need to find a way to adjust my schedule within the schedule to get more instructional time. There are millions of ways to do it. You don't have to settle for this is all we've got. We can't do anything extra. Our schedule is tied. No, it's not tied. You've got to go the extra mile to stretch the schedule, to ensure that your students get what they need, to ensure that teachers have the ample time to meet expectations as well. Leadership is resilience, and there's no reason to not give your best. I'm going to say it again. Leadership is resilience, and there is no reason to not give your best. Y'all, I hope you all been listening to me today. I hope that you've been able to get something inspiring, something encouraging, and I hope you took the strategies as well that you can implement. Because remember, when we talk about not only as educational leaders, but we apply things to life here at Joe Griffin Global, because we know that personal and professional success, they do go together. They do compound one another. It's just a fact of the matter. For so long, we have tried to ignore that here and there, but no longer can we do that. Not in this day and age can we continue to do that. So it's important that we ensure that we acknowledge this fact. Otherwise, you all, a couple of other things I want to definitely talk with you about before we get out of here. As always, I wish you well. I appreciate you all jumping in with me every single week, watching the Speaking Life in You Leadership live stream. You could be anywhere else. I realize that. I'm grateful for that. Whether you say something in the comments or not, I know that you don't have to stay on this TV, on this internet, and watch the information that I put out. So being humble, I know that I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Please continue to come out. Please continue to watch, share, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure we get the information out where it needs to go, because again, there are leaders who need it. I was blessed with some experiences that I want to be able to help others become empowered with, that I'm helping others to become empowered with. And that's the greatest feeling of them all. With that being said, let's continue to think about our people who were killed in the plane crash. Let's continue to think about the families who were affected by the horrific fires here in Los Angeles County. Let's continue to pray individually for all of you all that are having ailments that may not be in your purpose, may not have love in your heart for what you're doing right now every single day. I ask that you refine it. I ask that that's granted to you. I ask that you continue working until that's granted to you. As you continue to push forward until that is bestowed upon you. So with that, I do want to get ready to close out. If you don't have any of my books, make sure you pick up Empowering Educational Leaders, a guide for teacher principal collaboration, endorsed by international leaders, Dr. Nogueira, as well as Principal Kufele. I will be presenting on the DIP approach for empowering educational communities in 2 weeks in New York City, Times Square. And then also the following month for the California Association of African American Superintendents and Administrators, CASA. So again, it's a blessing to be able to be on both of those platforms. I'm thankful that you all continue to come out every single week. It's week 27, y'all. Next week will be week 28. We got a powerful guest. Dr. Jerry Anderson will be with us. She is the president of the National Association of Secondary School Principals Leaders of Color Network. So we'll have her on next week. And the following week, we got another powerful guest, former superintendent as well. So just really, really happy and really proud to be able to provide information to those that need it. Because look, if you one of those that don't need it and you're not finding value from it, it's not for you. It's for those that need it. It's for those that can find value in what we're providing, who can see the systems at work, who are able to understand the framework, take what we use and then apply it to what you already know. There's no offense taken. There's no offense taken at all, you all. In fact, it's a blessing just to be here. So with that being said, I ask that we continue to work toward finding the love so that we can lead with passion, the wisdom to expand our purpose, and the courage to be present during the journey. Be inspired, be motivated, always be the best you. Dr. Joe signing off. You're always speaking and writing life into you.